For a bit longer, but
we're still going to need oil and gas for a while.
How long?
But guess what? No, we do.
No, I'm not joking.
But there's so much more to do.
Yeah.
We got to finish the job. And we pay for these investments in our future by finally making the wealthiest and biggest corporations begin to pay their fair share. Just begin. Look, I'm a capitalist.
of course.
I'm a capitalist, but pay your fair share.
Of course, he's a capitalist.
Have you noticed Big Oil just reported its profits, record profits? Last year they made $200 billion in the midst of a global energy crisis. I think it's outrageous. Why? They invested too little of that profit to increase domestic production. And when I talk to a couple of them, they say, we're afraid you're going to shut down all the oil wells and all the oil refineries anyway, so why should we invest in them? I said, we're going to need oil for at least another decade. And that's going to exceed and beyond that. We're going to need it. Production.
Funny man, that Scranton Joe. It's interesting. A lot of talk about fair share and paying your fair share, equity, sprinkled throughout the speech. Something he didn't touch upon, one of his accomplishments pending litigation.
Yeah.
The college loan forgiveness plan.
Oh, that's right. That was missing from yesterday.
Why not? Isn't that in the interest of equity?
Because he lied to everybody so that he could get the votes.
This is something that the House GOP may want to take up, flying off of the lead offered by the American Action Network, independent expenditure PAC, and the commercial they did.
I spend more time working on these cars than with my own family.
I spend my days digging holes, cutting grass, and sweating.
This is job number 2 today. So my customers aren't the only ones drinking coffee.
I'm breaking my back out here for one reason.
I want to pay off some other guy's debt.
Biden's plan to pay other people's college loans using my tax dollars is a great idea.
Biden's right. You should take my tax dollars to pay off your debts. My family will figure out how to get by with less. What's most important is we spare college graduates from any extra stress.
Want to be a struggling artist? College is on me.
My kids don't need fancy things like school supplies or new shoes.
I work for you, theater major.
This shift is for you, business major. Go buy yourself that new car.
Enjoy your free ride. College is on me.
Tell Congress, stop Biden's bailout for rich kids.
Yeah, fair share.
Love that ad.
Time mechanics and waitresses and truck drivers paid their fair share and financed somebody else's kids' college. For more on all this, pleased to be joined by economist and Govzilla author Steve Moore. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, guys.
Good news. The energy sector, oil and gas, gets to stick around for another decade or so.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. By the way, $200 billion in profits. The oil industry and gas industry have never been more profitable than under Biden. There's, I think, a lot of irony in that, isn't there? And, of course, that's because when you don't when you don't allow drilling for new oil and gas, the companies like Chevron and Exxon and ConocoPhillips make a fortune on the oil and gas that they've already discovered and have already been drilling. So he's inadvertently put, billions and billions of dollars into the hands of the quote greedy oil companies, the ones that provide 70%. Did you know 70% of our energy comes from those evil fossil fuel companies?
This is what the left does too. The left does the same thing with guns. We're going to ban assault weapons. Gun sales go through the roof. The gun manufacturers owe the left a thank you.
Well, what about we're going to be done in 10 years? I mean, how are we going to fly planes, and what about our military vehicles?
Well, we're going to put solar panels on the planes, and we're going to have little windmills on the top of our cars. I mean, look, the fact is we get 70% of our energy from fossil fuels, and we get 7% from wind and solar power. And who knows he's right. Who knows what the energy future will be for oil, gas, coal, blah, blah, blah. We don't know, but you know who doesn't know the most? Government doesn't know. They don't know what energy source we're going to use. But there's no possible way we're going to provide enough power for a $22 trillion industrial economy that makes everything from steels to cars to the cloud uses an incredible amount of energy. We're going to do that with windmills? I mean, it's so preposterous. By the way, there is one industry. He's right. The president was right. There's one industry that has never paid a penny of taxes. You know what industry that is?
Green energy.
Yeah. They don't, not only do they not pay taxes, they eat our taxes. They're so inefficient that they can only run massive amounts of government handouts. So, see, that's kind of interesting. Why don't all these big companies like Solar City, why don't they pay any taxes, Joe Biden?
I thought it was nice that Joe Biden offered a thank you to all of those big spending Senate Republicans who fell in line when it came to the infrastructure bill and the CHIPS bill and so on and so forth. We just need more big spending Republicans, and everything will be fine in D.C.
Yeah, well, I think we have plenty of those.
Yeah, right.
But it is. But when they start celebrating bipartisan achievements, you got to watch your wallet, folks, because that means they're digging deeper in. And look, shame on those Republicans. I forget the number. There were about 20 Senate Republicans who voted for the sham infrastructure bill, which was just a green energy bill, and that what was the other? Oh, the Inflation Reduction Act. But here's the bottom line takeaway. I watched. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just couldn't stomach it, but I watched a lot of it, and I'm thinking, what country is he talking about? I mean, he actually did a victory lap on the economy. And here we have the highest rate of inflation in 40 years. We got the biggest massive increase in the debt. And one of the things I want to make sure that your listeners understand, I think probably they do. When Biden says, and I predicted he would say this, that I've reduced the budget deficit by $1.4 trillion, more than any other president in history. Here's what he did, folks. In his first year in office, he took the debt to $2.8 trillion, by far an all-time record. There's never been a more financially reckless president than Joe Biden. Then the next year, which would have been 2022, last year, the debt only went up by $1.4 trillion, also a near record high. And so what he's saying is, oh, look at me. I've reduced the deficit by $1.4 trillion. That'd be like saying you gain 50 pounds one year, and the next year you only gain 30 pounds. You say, look, I lost 20 pounds.
Right. It's just like manufacturing rebounded at the fastest rate in nearly 40 years.
Yeah, that one I don't know. I mean, I don't know where he's getting these numbers, but, almost, how about he even said the border is under control.
Well, no, I mean, he even listed as an accomplishment, fastest gas prices decline in 8 years. Are you kidding me? Yeah. So he pumped him up.
By the way, Amy, that's exactly the same thing he's doing on the deficit. So when Trump left office, it was $2.49 a gallon, and then he took it up to at one point it went up to $5.50 a gallon in the summer, and now it's quote all the way down to $3.50 a gallon. So he's saying, even though it's $1 a gallon higher than when he came into office, he's saying he's cut the gasoline price. The bottom line, though, is,
well, I mean, what's the difference? As he said, that under Trump, we ran up a 25% increase in our national debt, the greatest of any administration. Of course, what he doesn't...
Wait, hold on, stop right there. Yeah. Biden's only been in office for 2 years.
Well,
I have to worry about the debt going through the roof because they in other words, so here's the deal that Biden's going to offer the Republicans. Okay, yeah, we'll spend another $100 billion on defense if you'll spend another $100 billion on social programs. Yeah, okay, good. Let's shake on it. Yay!
That's good. That's going to be that'll be the debt ceiling deal.
Yeah, exactly. They both get what they want. And so, meanwhile, the debt goes up. By the way, the other one is, did you see that story in CNBC? I was thinking about this when Biden was talking about how great the recovery has been. More and more Americans every day have to go to the dollar store, Amy.
I love the dollar store.
To buy their groceries.
Oh, yeah.
The place is packed now. They can't afford to go to the grocery store.
Stephen Moore, listen to that. I died a little inside, and I was going to call you because I went to the grocery store, to the Jewels on Southport, which I tend to stay in the suburbs if I can. Guess how much a box of...
goldfish.
No, not goldfish.
Oh.
I've given up on that. I'm not even eating that ever again.
Right.
A box of cereal.
Yeah.
Guess. $9.49.
No. Well, did you get the jumbo pack?
No, that was not the jumbo. The jumbo one was even more. But that was the average price of a box of cereal was $9.49. And everyone's
you know,
like
the
just
other-
buying this stuff. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, I had a similar experience the other night. I took my kids to Red Lobster, which is kind of a medium-sized, price restaurant. We like Red Lobster, and the meals were $40 for the meals. I'm like, what? This isn't this isn't like a ritzy French restaurant. And,
Well, did you get the shrimp scampi? Come on.
Yeah, for the trio, the shrimp trio was almost $38. I'm like, wow, what the hell is going on here?
Wow.
So the inflation is still there.
And that was Powell's remark this week that they still need to be potentially aggressive when it comes to combating inflation. So the market continues to rally with the idea that next month's potentially 25 basis point hike will be the last one. But what do you think? Are you so sure about that?
It's tough to say. Look, inflation has come down, no question about it. We've come all the way down from 9.1. Look, I think they have to definitely do at least one more rate hike. Whether they're going to be done or not, hard to say. But here's the problem. Every time we raise the interest rates, the biggest expenditure, just to give you a sense of what a crisis our debt is, because Biden just kind of acted as if he's slaying the deficit. Within 3 years, the interest on the debt will be the number one expenditure in the entire budget.
Yeah, well,
to pay for the spending we did before. We'll be spending more money on interest on the debt than we will on bullets.
Yeah, well, as if only anybody really cared that much about that. Steve Moore, economist and Govzilla offer. Steve, thanks for joining us, as always.
Okay, guys, have a great day. Take care.
Thanks, you too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're a business owner, imagine getting up to $26,000 per employee. There's still time for business owners to file for the Employee Retention Tax Credit Program. This program is for business